are now tuned in to Atlanta's hottest radio show.
Our stories from our studio to your ear. It's the Beyond Swanky podcast.
With your host, Kennedy Lucas. On Swanky 93.3 radio station. The Heat 94.6 radio station.
Yo, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to another exciting podcast here today. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Beyond Swanky podcast. I'm your host, K.L.P. Kennedy Lucas. Welcome back to another exciting episode of our podcast today. Yes, I needed to do a podcast today because, we've been having so many news, T. And, I gotta say, I'm excited. I'm stoked. I'm very, very excited. We're live here at Swanky Studios. I've got T. He's here. Monica's here. Addison is here. The crew's here in the studio for another exciting podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, we're officially 2 days, 10 hours, 56 minutes, and 50 seconds and counting. I know I'm down to the T. I'm looking at a counter right now until we head to New York City. Now, I'm super duper stoked about that. Let me tell y'all, we've been waiting months for this trip, and now we're officially 2 days away. I'm so stoked. I'm really, really happy. I'm excited for our trip. I'm excited to film. Last night, let me tell y'all a little bit. Last night, we were going through some of the music that's going to be in the documentary and some ideas. We do this thing every time when I make a film, whether it's an animated film or documentary. I have to go by what we call a storyboard, right? Where we kind of write down or draw down some of the shots and scenes that we wanted to do. With this being a documentary, it's kind of like a shot list is what we call it in the film world. And we have a list of places that we're going to try to travel to in the great city of New York and capture, and how the shots are going to be aligned. So I'm so excited. I'm blessed. I'm highly favored. Guys, yes, this trip has been very, very exciting from the jump. And now that we're 2 days away, I am so stoked. We're filming a lot in New York. So wish us best of luck for Street Style Homecoming. This is an experimental film, T, right? It's a film that, yes, we are filming, obviously, but there's another term, experimental filming. So what that means is you're going in not knowing what you got a shot list, but you don't know what you're really going to capture on camera. You just don't. So, like I say, I'm very stoked. I'm very happy about it. We ship out on Thursday morning, and we start filming. So I'm so stoked about it, for sure, for the most part. When it comes down to filming. So I wanted to give you guys a podcast because we're still in the offices for the next 2 days. And I really want to give you guys a podcast tonight and tomorrow as well, because, I love podcasting. I really do. So I wanted to give y'all a good show here today. And again, if you're listening to the video version of this podcast, whether it's on YouTube or Spotify video, thank you so very much. And if you're listening to our audio platforms, I'm saying iHeartRadio, Spotify, Audacity, Stitcher Podcast, Google Podcasts, we appreciate it. We really do appreciate everybody that's been listening to us thus far. Our ratings it's been exciting, T. I gotta say, it's been really, really good for the most part. I enjoy seeing the ratings and seeing the views and seeing people actually watching the show and actually enjoying our topics, because it goes a long way. It really does go a long way. Now, let's get on to it. The news announcements, the things I want to talk about here on today's podcast today. First, we got to kind of get the elephant of the room out the way, right? I know I might be a little late to this game, but I got to talk about Airmark. Now, Airmark, I got some few choices words for Airmark. They got to come in front of the congregation because we need to have a discussion with them. They are our elephant of the room for today's podcast, because we all know it's Black History Month, right? Y'all want to know what Airmark did? And I'm harping on Airmark because I know this company. I haven't worked for this company, but they did supply food. I don't know if they still supply food for GGC, but Georgia Gwinnett College, they used Airmark when it comes down to their food processing as well. So that's where I really know from Airmark. But Airmark apologizes for insensitivity of school lunch served on the first day of Black History Month. Oh, Lord. here we go again. Okay, so this is not the first time Aramark has pulled this stunt, right? They pulled a similar stunt like this at NYU, and they've gotten a lot of backlash. Of course, the lunch menu offered on February 1st at New York Middle School, that's in Rutland County in New York, um it's inexcusable, right? It's very insensitive, right? They serve chicken and waffles with watermelon at this middle school. Now let's get one thing straight, T, right? Because they were supposed to have Philly cheesesteak February 1st, but for some reason changed it to chicken and waffles. Now, we all know we live in a world and a society today that a lot of people don't think about Black History Month. A lot of people are very insensitive. A lot of people become what we call bigotry, right? Just very ignorant, very not knowing how insensitive that is for us people, for us Black creatives, Black communities to really understand that it is a stereotype. You're stereotyping us when it says, oh, Black folks love chicken and waffles and watermelon and Kool-Aid and grape juice. Like, that stuff is very insensitive, right? And I just don't believe in Aramark's apology, right? Because there's no way in hell you're going to pull this stunt at a university, NYU, in New York University, and then turn around and pull the same stunt and think, oh, well, we apologize, right? They knew what they were doing. In my eyes and what I've seen and what I've read, I got to say, I think they knew what they were doing, right? I think they knew it because they knew it was going to sell. They knew it was going to be a story because obviously we're talking about it here on the podcast. They knew that the attraction that they were going to get, right? Knowing that they're still going to be in business because they're I would say one of the biggest food vendors out there. So they knew marketing and business wise of why they did this. Now, I got to say that it's disgusting. It really is, because it's one of those things that, it bothers us in the Black community. It does. It bothers me because you're not knowing about Black History Month and not really being upfront and really saying, okay, let's think about this, right? If we're going to do this, let's think about how the backlash would be. Is it ignorant? Is it insensitive? Should we not do this? Should we do this but at a careful light, right? It's sad, man. We're living in this society where companies don't care. Companies are still trying to make that sell. And I've been talking about this for quite a few weeks now because I knew Black History Month was coming up, obviously. And I talked about this. See, there's a lot of companies that, are thinking, okay, how can we market Black History Month for us to make a sale, right? And instead of acknowledging Black History Month for what it is, a lot of companies say, let's slap the black, red, and green colors on something and sell it, right? Because, hey, look at us. We're making Black History Month for our company. Buy this product. Oh, we have the black, red, green colors on this product. Buy it. Black History Month, right? But you never really see these companies do media about the meaning of Black History Month and why it's so important, right? We're living in this society where this has to stop, right? It has to come to an end. It has to cease. Serving chicken and waffles on the first day of Black History Month, yeah, very insensitive. But I don't believe in Aramark's apology. I don't. They knew exactly what they were doing, right? And the reason why I'm so cold-heartedly on Aramark simply because, they pulled this stunt before. We've seen it done time and time and time again, right? So I don't believe in them. I don't believe in their apology. It's going to be probably a while until they try to do it at another school, right? Or another university or another business conference, right? Where they're going to be very insensitive and say, oops, my bad. But we're getting talked about in the news. So, we're still making that rating go up, right? It's weird. It's one of those things that it's a little weird to my taste. But we have to stop stereotyping us in the Black community. And I'm not saying us as in we're stereotyping ourselves, but I'm saying people of maybe not the same background, maybe our counterparts, right? You guys have to stop. And I say this very loosely because I'm not talking to anybody directly, but people out there they have to stop stereotyping how we celebrate Black History Month, right? Again, biggest elephant in the room. I don't believe in their apology, but like I gotta say, I think Airmark knew exactly what they were doing. So moving right along with the podcast here today, the Beyond Swanky podcast with your host K.L.P. Kennedy Lucas. Guys, we're getting ready for New York, of course. Stay tuned for our Instagram, right? Our Instagram's out there. We're going to be doing a lot of media coverage. One coverage I'm excited for is the K.L.P. Aftermath live from NYC. Can't wait. So excited. It's going to be a good podcast for sure. So I'm very, very looking forward to that as well. Now, let's talk about The Last of Us episode 4. Okay, so episode 4. Now, you guys know, by the way, I'm a huge Last of Us fan right now. The series is great. It's very, very good. I'm for every episode that I've watched, I'm going to do my very best to talk about the show here on either K.L.P. Aftermath or the Beyond Swanky podcast. Now, when it comes down to episode 5 comes out this Friday, and we won't be able to do a review because obviously we're going to be in New York. So that's why we won't be doing a review for episode 5 necessarily, but stay tuned because we're probably going to double up on that as well when it comes down to it. But of course, we've got to talk about it. Of course, IGN posted their review, and I'm just going to skip down here to see their number to see what they gave it. So they gave this episode an 8, which is not bad. It's great. You know, it's not bad for sure. We get to see, as always, you know, they're taking pages off the video games dialogue and they're putting it into the series. As always, we're going to see it. But something that we saw was very, very interesting to us for sure when it came down to it. They got some new cast, right? They got some new characters in that was expressed in episode 4 that it's out there, and a lot of people are very, very excited for it. And I'm ready for the growth, right? I'm always excited when you see kind of new characters into that. Jeffrey Pierce plays this character by the name of Perry. And Perry is a new character that's in the series, or so that I've read. Now, Jeffrey Pierce plays Tommy in the video game version of the series Last of Us. So it's very interesting to say, hey, I played Tommy in the video game, so now I'm playing a totally different character in the same show, same company, but now I'm on camera, right? I'm not in a motion capture, I'm not animated, I'm actually going to be on there. Of course, Melanie Linsky plays Kathleen, and these are the two characters that we saw and we heard on the after the episode, or behind the episode rather, that, you know, they are newer characters, right? It's good, right? A lot of people may not like it to see new characters that is not based off the game. I think this works, guys. I gotta say, I really do think that this is going to work out for them really well, introducing newer characters into the series to expand it a little bit, because you guys got to think about it. It's TV, right? It's Hollywood, it's TV. You've got to kind of expand out when you're trying to do something for TV versus the video game version of it. So, of course, Joel and Ellie in episode 4, they're going through the city of Kansas City, Missouri. And of course, they get attacked by this group. Of course, you know, Joel kills them because, right? Hey, killed or be killed. And of course, Ellie, she's experiencing some things, right? You know, she's toying around with a gun for the first time in this episode. She's kind of traumatized just a little bit when it came down to certain scenes in the show. And, you know, she's understanding things, right? I get so giddy when she's riding in the car, or the truck rather, and everything's kind of new to her with riding in a vehicle, because that's something that we do every day, right? So it's interesting to see her dynamic for sure. It's interesting that, you know, when they went camping, that was a very interesting scene, because now in episode 4 and going forth, I'm pretty sure we're going to see Joel and Ellie have kind of a bond, right? Because if you guys remember, first couple of episodes, Joel treated Ellie like cargo, right? So like he didn't care about her so much, but he had a job to do, and he promised Tess that he's gonna take her to the fireflies and keep her safe because she has the cure and whatnot. He was there on a mission, but I've noticed, right, in this episode that he's kind of like a protective of Ellie. Joel is, right? His character, he's kind of the protector, right? Because deep down, he doesn't want anything bad to happen to Ellie. He don't. So it's just one of those things that is a cool dynamic to see, kind of like a father figure like. I'm sure he's going to expound more on Sarah to Ellie later on in this series. We did get to see a glimpse of Henry and Sam. Of course, Henry is played by Lamar Johnson, and then Kevon Woodward is playing Sam. Obviously, they were in the video game, so now we get to see them in the series. We saw them towards the end, but we're going to probably see more of them in episode 5 this Friday, which I got to say real quick, very smart move for HBO and Last of Us. They moved the show from Sunday to Friday because this Sunday is Super Bowl Sunday. Very, very smart, right? Any show that's coming out, that's supposed to be coming out, new episodes on Sunday, move it to Friday, right? Because everybody's not going to be tuned in. Now, you might have some people that don't care about the Super Bowl, but it's a smart move to say, hey, people are going to be out celebrating, watching the Super Bowl. We're going to be in New York watching the Super Bowl ourselves. So, it's a smart move. I just want to bring that out there too, because I saw that news announcement today that, hey, we're moving it to Friday. Smart. Very, very smart. And that's pretty much the gist of the episode. Very, very interesting. The dynamic is there, and you get to see more of a relationship between Joel and Ellie. Now, I do understand IGN's rating for giving it an 8, because last episode they got a 10, right? This episode was action packed a little, but you really get to see more of Joel and Ellie expand on the story. And that was it, right? So I do hope episode 5 they come back with a banger. I really do hope they come back with it for sure when it came down to it. But honestly, I think every episode to me is going to be a slam dunk. They got something there. They've got something there, and I'm quite excited to see what they do with it. I'm very, very excited for sure. So as always, congratulations to The Last of Us for sure. But it's just one of those things that it does happen for sure, and it's out there. People are doing it. So more on gaming news, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, we've got to talk about this because this has been a hot topic for the last couple of days. Of course, Hogwarts Legacy comes out on the 10th this Friday, and I'm gonna say I'm buying the game. Right, I know a lot of people like, hey, they're anti with this game because of what J.K. Rowling has done, but a lot of YouTubers have proven the point that they don't care about, and they care, right? But they didn't let that impact a potentially good game. Now, my take on it, I care, but I don't, right? And I know a lot of people hate it when they call ourselves gamers, but I got to use it because I don't know another name for it. But for a lot of us gamers, we don't care about the politics, right? On this show and every other show, I'm always going to say we have to stop catering to politics when it comes to the gaming community. We have to, right? I get so sick and tired of it, right? Where people are using politics when it comes to our video games, using politics when it comes to our movies, right? We got to stick out the politics when it comes to this kind of stuff, right? Now, with my show now going forward, and not now, but I mean, this seasons, we've stabbled with, we just quit talking about, because last season we talked a little bit with politics, and a lot of podcasters, a lot of radio show hosts, they said, we're not talking about politics anymore when it comes to our shows because it's very, very draining. About politics, about who died, about who's going to jail, about somebody who shot somebody or police brutality. I'm done. It's exhausting. And this was another case where, you know, politics aside, now J.K. Rowling might have said some things, some off out of pocket things, right? But I don't care, right? I care, but I don't, I should say, right? I don't think people should crucify somebody for buying a game that got a 9, by the way. Metacritic gave this game, what, an 86 T? Right? 86. So 86. And IGN gives it a 90. And I saw a lot of YouTube videos today, right? And they looked on their site, and most gaming review companies gave this game a good score, right? And that's why it appealed to me. Now, I probably won't get this game when it comes out again. I'm going to New York. I'm probably going to get the game beginning of March, right? Because I'm coming back from a big trip, and I'm, you know, but I'm not going to pass out on a game that is good. Now, I've watched Harry Potter. I haven't watched all of the Harry Potters, but I've seen Harry Potter. I've seen both of the Fantastic Beasts movies, if that counts, right? I know that's kind of a little bit in the same. I mean, that's the same company, same writer, but different characters. I enjoyed Fantastic Beasts. The first one was better than the second one, I got to say. The second one didn't really hit well. But anyway, this game has a good score. And quite frankly, right now, we need some other game to play, right? We don't have that many games out right now. Now, this is a great year for gaming because there's a lot of games coming out this year. But as of right now, this is the next heavy hitter that's out, right? Besides all the other games like Dead Space that came out. I mean, a game that's remade, I'm not so much interested into it. But Hogwarts Legacy, I'm into because this is a brand new game. We've never seen this before. The story is good. The gameplay is good. The character development is good. And get this, guys, they introduced the first transgender character, which I thought that was a very nice touch in this game. So we have to stop putting politics into our games, right? People have become, and we have become so sensitive to it, T. We have, in this world, we became very sensitive. You have to be careful what you say, right? What you do in the medium. You have to be very careful because a lot of people take it the wrong way. A lot of people see it. If I said something on Twitter, and by the way, Twitter's really, I'm not really huge on Twitter. I have Twitter. I'm not a huge fan of Twitter, but people are relying on Twitter when it came down to this game and then the politics side of it. People relied on Twitter, and I was just like, okay, it's Twitter, right? Honestly, I gotta say, Twitter's been going down, and I ain't even gonna say it's been going down since Elon Musk bought it. That's not what I'm saying. Twitter been going down, in my opinion. I haven't been a fan of Twitter. But like I say, you know, we've got to stop bringing politics to our games because it's not. To me, it's not gaming, and I'm still gonna be a gamer. But gaming to me, when you bring politics into gaming, it's not fun anymore. It's not. Like, it's very draining, it's very tiring, and it just really makes people feel sad about gaming because everybody has some politics or political views of somebody who said something in the gaming community, right? You know, it's kind of the same thing with let's say, for an example, again, G4, right? Frost, that rant she did, very political. I understand. I'm not saying that what she said wasn't valid, but I mean, the rant was unnecessary. Politics, right? She brought politics in that, and it's kind of the same concept with this game via Twitter. People are bringing unnecessary politics when it really shouldn't go there in this community. It really shouldn't. Same thing with movies. A lot of people bring politics in movies. Like, gosh, like, it drives me nuts. It really does. It really drives me nuts when people bring that stuff into it. But like I say, this game got some good reviews. I will be copying it for sure. I will be playing it, and I will not feel a type of way about playing this game. Hell, this is a great game with great reviews. I need something new to play on my PlayStation 5, so this is going to be a comp for me, right? I'm not going to really lose sleep about the politics side of this game, knowing that I bought a game and I love it, right? That's we have to value that stuff, right? We have to stop losing sleep and losing our minds over political views, right? We have to. We have to stop that. But anyway, there you have it. That's my take on that. Hogwarts Legacy got some good reviews, and the boycotters were proven wrong with this one. A lot of people are still gonna buy it, and let me tell you, and it's not just for J.K. Rowling to make money. This is my last take on it. J.K. Rowling's gonna make money from this. Obviously, it's her property, it's her IP. She's licensing. She's gonna make millions. Whether you guys like it, or y'all boycotters like it or not, she's going to get rich as fuck from this game. That's just how it is. And I doubt it that she really cares about boycotters. She cares about the fans who buy the game because that's a sell for her with her IP. She's going to be laughing all the way to the bank when she get her gaming developer's check from her IP. That's what she's going to be doing. I can guarantee y'all that. I can also guarantee you that a lot of people that worked on the game are not going to be worried about the boycotters, but they're going to be laughing on the way when they're depositing their paycheck from the money that they got paid for this game, right? They probably got an advance for the developer. Once the game starts selling, then people start getting paid. That's what people are worried about. And that's what we have to congratulate. I'm buying the game because it got good reviews, but I'm paying the developers, the game director, the programmers, right? The artists, the voice actors of this game, the animators of this
Welcome
game.
back to the Beyond Swanky podcast. I'm your host, K.L.P.
The storyboard
creators
of this
the
game,
episode,
the musicians, the
Beyond
orchestra,
Swanky
if there
podcast.
is,
The
the
final
composer
episode
that
before we
made
head out
this
to
game
New York
possible.
City.
That's where my
Guys,
focus
thank
is.
you guys so much.
Those are the people
I gotta say,
who would be
we're harping
very
on New
appreciated.
York
The people
'cause I'm
who
excited.
get paid.
You guys make this
from
possible,
working on this
right?
game.
It probably would have not been possible
right?
with all our
without all of our.
But yeah, that's my final
viewership
take.
and our ratings,
Developers,
J.K.
that
Rowling
love the
podcast.
she
and
might have
enjoy
said
it
some
and
things.
listen.
Yeah, sure.
You guys made this thing,
But she's still
possible.
getting paid.
Really, y'all really
She doesn't
did.
care.
She's making money. And that's
Of
just
course,
how it
we've
is
got
in
to talk
today's
about the
society.
Grammys.
If you can
Of
make
course,
money from it,
Grammy time,
then by all means,
just
make
in
your
time
dollar,
for
make your
sure.
bread.
When it came down to the
Don't
Grammys,
knock
and
your hustle.
it's the 65th
So,
annual Grammy.
Again, that's my take on
Awards.
that.
And I want to
Hogwarts
give you guys
Legacy again.
my
I'm picking
take
it up
on
on the show.
So we're gonna play some music, but
it was
when we
good.
come back, we're talking
Right?
about the
A lot of
Grammys.
people had asked me.
Stay tuned.
today,
This is Beyond
what did
Swanky
I think
podcast.
about
Host K.L.P.
the,
Kennedy Lucas will be right back.
The Grammys, and usually Grammys is something I really don't watch as often. The most awards show that I watch is the Emmys. I know, right? Because you guys thought me being a filmmaker, I would say the Oscars. Over the past couple of years, the Oscars haven't been the same, right? I'm not gonna say, F the Oscars, because I want to win an Oscar one day. I do, but I've watched the Emmys because the Emmys just, I don't know, their presentation at the Emmys is a little bit different when it came down to the Oscars. Not knocking the Oscars, but the Oscars haven't been the same in the last couple of years, right? We all know about last year's Oscars where Will Smith smacked Chris Rock. And I watched The Breakfast Club today, and of course, Eddie Murphy's doing Eddie Murphy, making a joke, and Tyrese got very offended about it. Again, it's Eddie Murphy. I did like how Ray J kind of put him out on blast, though, T, because Ray J tweeted that, hey, Tyrese, you need to stop. You're not on Eddie Murphy's level. You're not, though. I mean, come on. I'm not saying Tyrese ain't good, because he's been in a lot of big movies, too, but you can't compare yourself to Eddie Murphy now. But anyway, I digress on that. It was very, very good. The Grammys was good. I've watched the red carpet. I saw the Rock Nation brunch, which was very interesting. A lot of great celebrities was at this brunch. I saw this video where Jay-Z comes out, very fly ass suit, by the way. Jay-Z comes out, and the photographer starts taking pictures, and then he's like, "Yeah, put your camera down. We ain't ready for that yet." And the sheer power Jay-Z had, because that photographer put down the camera immediately, right? Because that's the kind of stuff, like, if you don't do what Jay-Z said at his Rock Nation, you get kicked out, right? That's something you don't want to get kicked out of. So I thought that was pretty cool. The brunch looked very, very nice, by the way. Very, very nice. So the Grammys. we saw some things. We saw our favorite Flavor Flav and Chuck D, and DJ Khaled's interview. That was pretty nice. We saw Lizzo on the red carpet. We saw Doja Cat. We saw Taylor Swift. Viola Davis becomes EGOT. Of course, if you guys don't know what EGOT means, it's the award. It's kind of a name you're called yourself when you win all four awards. So it's the Emmys, the Grammys, the Oscars, and a Tony, right? And last night, or a couple nights now, Viola Davis wins it. So very, very excited for her. She is an EGOT member now, and that's really cool when you win all four awards. That's something very special. So let's go down to the list of what I think about, and these are the winners. We got the list of the winners and the nominations. We're not going to read the nominations, but we're going to just read the winners. So the best album, Harry's House, Harry Styles has won that award, which is pretty cool for the most part. I'm not really that huge of a Harry Styles fan, but I've listened to their song, of course. Song of the Year goes out to Bonnie Raitt, Just Like That. New artist, Samara Joe wins best new artist. Best record goes out to About Damn Time, Lizzo. She was very excited about winning that. I saw her speech. She gave a tribute to Beyonce being one. I forgot what her other tribute was. Shout out was. Best rap album, Mr. Kendrick Lamar, Mr. Morale, and the Big Steppers. I loved it. I really loved this album. This album was just so impactful. I liked every song from this album. It's good to see that he won. I want to say this is 16th. I think this was his 16th nomination, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but he wins that for sure. Best music video, Taylor Swift wins that, of course, which is really good. Again, I'm kind of a Taylor Swift fan, but not really. There's a few songs I like from her, but I don't like every song from her. Just quite a few. Best rock album, Ozzy Osbourne. I didn't even think he was still making music. Best pop duo, group performance, of course, Unholy, Sam Smith and Kim Petras. Unholy has been all over TikTok, so it's very, very interesting. I love that song too. Doing something unholy. Okay. Willie Nelson wins best country solo performance. I didn't even think he was still making music. Ozzy Osbourne wins best metal performance. Didn't think he was still making music, honestly. Music film, of course, Jazz Fest, A New Orleans Story from F. Marshall, Sean M. Stewart, and Ryan Suffren. Again, musical theater album, Into the Woods. 2022 Broadway casting recording. Didn't really know too much about that. Of course, best R&B song was won by Beyonce, Cuff It. That's been all over Instagram and TikTok too. I love that song. I really do. Best rap album, The Heart Part 5, Kendrick Lamar. Again, very, very good. Best solo performance goes out to Adele. I remember The Rock presented that award to her. Very good, because Trevor Noah was the host of the Grammys that night. And of course, it was really cool because he was talking to Adele on camera, on mic, and he was like, "You never met Dwayne Johnson, you never met The Rock." And as he's talking, you could see The Rock coming through security, and they're like, "Oh, here come The Rock," because I saw him. They're like, "Here come The Rock," and of course, The Rock was there at the Grammys. Very, very cool. They never met, Adele and The Rock, so I thought that was really cool. That was very special. Best dance recording goes to Break My Soul, Beyonce. Again, The Dream, Beyonce and Tricky Stewart. Of course, producer non-classical. I don't know too much about that. Country song. I don't really like country songs. So, best Latina and rock alternative album goes to Rosalía from Motomami. Best reggae album goes out to Kabaya Parim. Best R&B performance goes to Miss Money Long. I love Money Long. I really do. Hours and Hours. Very, very good. You guys can listen to that song, not only to her Spotify, but we feature that song on our playlist on Spotify, by the way. Hopeless Romantic 2023. Go listen to the playlist. My playlist that we created with round bass music, by the way. Engineered album, a non-classical Harry's House. And I'm probably gonna Google this too real quick because I listen and watch the Joe Budden podcast, and Parks was nominated. Let me see. Let me Google this right while we're on there. He said he was nominated for something as well. Let me write this. Of course, so I'm a big fan of Joe Budden podcast. So let me see what he worked on while we on there. Popular podcast. Parks. I know we on here. I just wanted to see. Oh, he's a 2-time Grammy nominee. He worked with Mary J. Blige's Good Morning and Gorgeous record. Wow. Okay, so I'm probably going to do some research on that too, because I'm a huge fan of the Joe Budden podcast, and Parks was nominated because I remember they were talking about it on the show. So very, very cool. A best pop vocal album goes to Harry's House. Alternative music album goes to Wet Leg. Okay. Skipping through because there's a lot of nominations in songs that and people I don't know. I listened to a new artist today, and there's more Beyonce because Beyonce's been nominated and won 5 times last night. Robert Glasper, he won Best R&B Album, and that was very interesting because he was going against the likes of Chris Brown, I think, for that same award. So I listened to Robert Glasper today on my way to the office, and I like his album. I didn't really like some of his music. Okay, so most of his music is pretty good. I'm not a big fan of people talking through their music, right? Narrating through their music. I think, and who am I? Because he's a Grammy winner, right? I can't really critique them so hard, but a lot of people will say that talking and narrating through your music is a bit played out. So when you're talking through your music, I don't want to hear you telling me a story. I want you to sing it, right? But that's a good album. I listened to it. It's called Black Radio 3. It's a very good album. Really, it really is good. Most songs of his album were bangers to me. Some was like, okay, I'm not feeling this one, right? And everybody has different tastes of music and artists. So, you know, you can't really be so upset about it. Scrolling through this list here, there's a lot of nominations too. The Global Impact Award goes to Dr. Dre, the inaugural Global Impact Awards for the Grammys. Dr. Dre, I'm a huge Dr. Dre fan, by the way. So going through the list here, and it's a lot of other artists and albums that I just don't really know about. Right, yeah, we don't know so much about it. So that was the Grammys. Like I say, it was very, very good. I enjoyed watching some of it, of the Grammys. I was watching between that and Last of Us on Sunday night. So very, very good. For the most part, very, very, very good when it came down to the Grammys. So again, you guys can check like video footage on YouTube. Let me know what you guys think about it. Trevor Noah had hosted it at the crypto.com arena, and it was cool. It was a cool night. So that's going to wrap it up here on our podcast here today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it as much as I did today. And always, you know, ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys for, you know, staying with us. Thank y'all for y'all's continuous support. Again, if you're listening on any audio platform, again, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Google Podcasts, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe to our YouTube channel over at K.L.P Entertainment if you're watching the video version of that. And as always, I like to say, guys, stay safe, stay swanky. We will see you guys in New York, and stay tuned for content coming from New York because we're filming a whole bunch of stuff for New York. So stay tuned for that as well. Until then, I'm K.L.P Kennedy Lucas, and this was the Beyond Swanky Podcast. Peace.